good afternoon to you at home. You're tuned into Open Studio. This is Cape Town TV channel 263. I'm your host, Taban Sahaichu. Thank you so much that you could join us today. And we've got an exciting lady by the name of Zanab Baker, who's actually a social worker from an organization by the name of Vision Child and Youth Care Center, which is actually based in Lansdowne, right here in Cape Town. The organization is doing amazing things, and we're going to find out a little bit more about it. Welcome to the show, Ms. Zainab. How are you?
I'm well, thank you so much, Tabang.
Thank you so much for making the time to come through. Just so for the sake of our viewers, who is Mrs. Zainab Baker and when did this journey begin for you?
I think Zainab is a very ordinary person, a person that are looking for peace and calm. But unfortunately, because she's such an ambitious person, that does not go together with peace and calm. So it's
100%.
always busy.
That's beautiful. And I understand that you grew up in Mitchell's Plain. How was that like for you?
Um, I really have fond memories of my childhood, and it was in Mitchell's Plain. I've been there since the age of 4, and I'm still living in the house that I grew up in. So at the time, it was safe and it was just a happy place.
Mm.
And I still, I feel very fond of Mitchell's Plain.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's the thing about where a person comes from. You always have that special place for where you grew up. And what made you choose the career path of becoming a social worker?
Tabang, to be honest, is actually funny. My choice was to become a housewife.
Oh, wow. Executive housewife.
Yeah, I wanted to be a housewife, which is such an honorable job and a
Absolutely.
labor of love. But unfortunately, like I said, I'm a bit ambitious.
Mm.
So I also believe that one should be independent and education is so important.
100%.
So at one point I felt, you know what, irrespective of whether I'm going to become a housewife, I should have an education. And as you have it, social work chose me.
Absolutely. And I feel like that is such a specialized discipline that you choose. You have to have like a golden heart, I would say, right? And for you, I understand that you graduated at UWC, right?
Yes.
What was it like just finally walking down that stage, I can imagine, and actually getting your degree?
Um, I think, a sense of relief, which every student has, especially if they've been studying for so many years. Social work is not an easy course to study. So, yeah, definitely relief. I still think, what, at the time, I'm so grateful because of, I had the opportunity. I come from Mitchell's Plain, but I'm grateful that my mother, she sacrificed and then I was able to go and study. And yes, there was a sense of relief after completing. But I think at the time, studying was the only thing that I knew how to do.
Mm.
So I chose to complete my studies and not further it at that particular point, which is still something I sort of, I need to go back.
You want to go
I
back. You
need to
actually want to
go
go
back.
back to study. That is
Yeah.
so amazing, truly inspirational. I see that you've got a lot of passion for what you do. So when you then eventually studied, finished, rather graduated, right? I guess you started working. So how was that for you? Just your journey within the work front.
When I completed my social work degree, I did not immediately go into social work. I did quite a bit of volunteering. I also worked at the dentist as a dental assistant at the time. So, and at that time was also teaching a bit. So, I was a busy person. So there were so many things that was going on, but I think that in order to do social work, one need to have a particular strength and character in order to do that. And I felt that at the time I still needed to grow a little bit. Um, so my first job in social work was a marriage counselor and family counselor. And I think it was so ideal for me to have started with social work at the time that I started because I just, got married. And I think that gave me a little bit more insight into, being a marriage counselor and a family counselor.
100%. And I understand that, yes, you've got your degree, right, in social work, your BA, right? And then you went on to complete, you studied further. You love studying, hey? You
Absolutely.
did a diploma, right, in human resource management. What inspired you to follow that?
Um, I like I said, first of all, I'm very ambitious, but I'm also curious. You know, it is just a matter of, and I think, being a social worker, you need to have this drive and passion to listen to people, which is something that I felt I had, since I was little. Um, but then when I, were in social work, I felt I need to, this more, I need
Yes.
more. And particularly thought, you know what, I need to find something that can complement the social work qualification. And particularly always looking at that. Um, so I decided, let's try human resource and development training, because that would complement social work. I'm working with people, and that's working with people, and the two can always go well together.
I was just about to
Um,
say, yeah, you
yeah.
love working with people.
Yes. So that was extremely interesting and exciting. Whenever there's something new, when there's new knowledge and
Mm.
that can be applied, with dealing with people, that is just very exciting for me, and I just love that.
Would you then say again that's why you went on to get your other qualification in life coaching? Is it because of you love people so much?
Yes, yeah, I think, you know what, it was something that I was considering, but then the opportunity just popped up, and I decided, let's take this opportunity. But I think it just became, such a journey of growth, because you learn how to apply these things and work with people in a particular way. But in order for you to do that, you need to grow, and you need to be in a particular place,
That's
and
right.
gain a particular strength. And I think
Yes.
that was such a journey for me of growth and development. Also, I can, proudly say I will be graduating this Sunday.
Congratulations.
So that's quite
I'll be
exciting.
celebrating on your behalf there
Yeah,
somewhere at home. That's wonderful. And what you'll be graduating on, which is it this the life coach?
either life coaching.
The life coach. I'll be coming to you for sessions, that's for sure. Wonderful. You know, you're such an inspiration being a woman, and I understand that you wanted to be a housewife, but then again, something drew you because of the love that you have for helping people. That is so noble. And when we come back, you're just gonna go to a break. When we come back, I want to touch a little bit more about children, and how or what methods you're actually using in the organization to assist them. Please don't go away. We'll be right back, and the conversation will continue. Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Open Studio, Cape Town TV channel 263. I'm your host, Taban Sakaichu, and we're having such an informative session, rather, today with an amazing guest, Mrs. Zanab Baker, who's from an organization based in Langsdowne by the name of Vision Child and Youth Care Center. They are doing amazing work. She's a social worker, and she was just letting us know a little bit about her journey and what inspired her. Ms. Zainab, I just want to continue where we left off, right? So with the kids, it's quite a complex setup, I would imagine, especially psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise. And we understand that once a child has experienced some sort of trauma, they tend to close up a bit. So what methods or specialized mechanisms are you actually using in assisting them to rather open up about where they are at?
I think, Tabang, it is something that is almost so simple and too simple, because it is all a matter of establishing, the relationship with a child, establishing the trust with a child. And that is so important, because, the place where they're coming from, they did not have that. And being able to trust, that this person that is here with me will not be hurting me, and
That's
that
right.
person will not be leaving me. So just establishing that relationship, that is the one and most important thing to keep in mind, or to do. I think it is, so important also. And there's also these one particular method that I try, once the child closes up and then they do not want to talk, is to use simple tools.
Mm.
And I always call it my therapeutic tools, but after we play with it, they always want to come and have it and play outside of the counseling room, and that is just a stack of Uno cards. So we don't go directly into just talking about my feelings and what is hurting me and what pain I'm experiencing. We play.
It's amazing.
And I invite you to come and play Uno with me, and that is just seemed to be my go-to
And
at
it
the
works
moment, and
every
it works
time.
every time. So we'll play Uno, and then we start to talk, and that is when we start to open up. I think the one other last method that I just want to mention is, what I call fish. You say, you put ideas out there. If you see that the child is, they don't really want to open up or speak, you you would say, okay, do you think it's this particular thing? And
Like
you'll
you're
say no.
fishing for
Yeah.
information.
Or
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
say, okay, it's not that, so is it this? Eventually, when you come to mentioning so many things, once you mention that thing that is really ailing that child, some might come and say, yes, it is that. Others would not say, but you know what, because you have learned so much about body language and the expressions, they might not say it with words, but you will be able to see that is the thing that is ailing them.
So it's, I hear you say like a very holistic, giving us a holistic backdrop that you have to tap into all these
Yes. And there
channels
are
to pick
so
up on
many
a
more
lot.
tools to
Yeah.
use.
Yeah, 100%. That's really quite an eye opener. And what would you say are some of the major challenges, right, that you experience when you're personally dealing with the children? Especially, I understand that the kids, most of them are orphaned, others neglected, etc. What are the challenges would you say you've experienced so far?
Um, Challenges is part of the job. You will not be able to get away from that, and you often just take that and embrace that. But the one particular thing which is, what does affect you, it does affect myself, because you would many a times see that the child is, in pain, or they are hurting, or they are sad, but they would not express that in words. And yes, we are there to help them express that words, but sometimes, what, children are so far in denial in the hurt and the pain that they've gone through, that you see and feel their pain, and that is, a sad and a painful
Mm,
thing to see and experience as a human being.
that is so
So you
true.
basically feel and experience the pain, and it can affect you in so many different ways.
That is so true. And I understand that, of course, depending on the needs of the child, you also have a facility where you would refer them accordingly, to either specialized services or
Mhm.
programs that would assist the child. What are some of those?
We have worked with quite a number of mother welfare organizations. So we've worked with places such as, Safeline, Childline. We work with the education department. We work with the Department of Health. So but if the child's need is, this is where we will refer them. Um, it is. I'm just very excited to also mention that we've currently been working very closely with an organization called Jelly Beans, and they work with trauma with children. So it is just very interesting and exciting, and just to network with these organizations, because we know at a later stage our children will need this, and they are always open to wanting to help.
100%. So it's good to always have like strategic partnerships, right?
Definitely.
Everybody all hands on deck. I love that. And what are some of the highlights for you, as a social worker?
Whew.
A lot.
They are a lot. But I think, what, there's one that particularly stands out for me at this point. Um, I think, what, it is tough. It is
Mm.
not easy, and a lot of the times it's not glamorous.
Yes.
So there is a lot of pain and there's a lot of stress. I think the one particular thing that really, really, stands out for me is the fact that, once you have a stressful day, a child will come in and they will come and hug you.
Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
amazing
And they will hug you and they will make you feel that you are important to them.
and appreciated. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think also, and small things like, the child will come in and they'll have two sweets or two lollipops. They will make sure that they come and give, this one is for you. And those are the special moments that makes everything worthwhile,
Mm.
irrespective of the difficulties that are being experienced.
100%. Yes, these like those priceless moments, right? Those
Absolutely.
once in a lifetime, I would guess. And
Hmm.
I understand then you would also, do you sometimes feel that you grow attached, of course, because of the relationship you build with the child?
Definitely, I think, it is quite a situation, or it does become a little bit difficult because we have a children that comes into our home, but we also have children that are leaving, and we work with the children so closely, and they live there, so it is their home,
Mm.
and make this connection and build this connection. So if the child does leave, there is sadness.
Absolutely. I can definitely like I can just imagine how
Yeah.
hard it must be for you. When we come back, Ms. Zainab, we're gonna continue the conversation. Viewers at home, don't go away. We'll be right back. If you've just tuned in, a warm welcome to you. This is Open Studio, channel 263, Cape Town TV. Today we're just having such an amazing guest. I had said earlier on, from such an amazing organization, Ms. Zainab, you're doing a phenomenal work. Your organization is really doing something that's quite close, I guess, to even our viewers who are watching, close to heart. When you mention children, I mean the whole nation, it's obviously about to pay attention. So we really appreciate what you do, and I understand that you're a mom. You've got two beautiful children, and I'm sure you love spending time with your family. So you divide yourself, between what you do and being a mom. So what are some of the things that you love doing with your family?
I think the most important thing is just to be, present with my family, to be with them. We might not necessarily do anything together, but we're just there. I think with my extended family, because I have my mom that lives with us, all brothers and sisters will flock to our house. And unfortunately, because of COVID now, everybody could not come so regularly. But I think that is, we just love to spend time together. We don't need any occasion to get together.
100%. So I
Mm.
get that you are a very close knit, loving family. Everybody just loving up on everybody. That is so
Yes.
beautiful. We need definitely more of that in the country. And I would just assume that you obviously come up from being brought up with great values and
Mm.
morals and standards. Do you perhaps share some of those with the little ones at Vision Center?
Absolutely. But I think maybe I should say, one of the reasons why I initially also came into Vision and I love being there is because you know, it 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 is just a feeling that I'm home and that my values and Vision's values are the same because that is
100%.
Islamic values.
Hmm.
And that is what Vision installed in children. And that is what every adult within Vision, are there to do for the children. So it's definitely, we try and bring across those values
Yeah, to
to
carry
the
them
children.
through well into their adult years when they actually now need to be standing strong
Absolutely.
on such. That is so powerful. And how do you, I'm just interested because I know your work is quite involved. How do you actually balance between your career and giving of yourself, as a social worker, and then being available still for your
Yeah.
own family?
It is really tough, I must say. It's difficult because there are moments it becomes really stressful. But I think, what, I'm so grateful to my family. They often know, if they see me, they might feel, okay, we are going to give us some time, spend some time by yourself. We could see that you might have had a tough day. And they often give me my space. And they're often there to cheer me up.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think my husband is also extremely supportive. He allows me to be ambitious and to do what my heart's desire. So yeah, I just have, so much support from my family. And I value that so much because you know what, when you do go home, it is just a place of, you find your peace there, your tranquility, your happiness and joy. So
100% your sanctuary, your safe
absolutely,
haven.
yes.
How important do you think that really is, especially with the kind of work that you do, to come back to an environment where you can just rejuvenate and walk out refreshed, ready to go again?
Yeah, that is extremely important. And obviously a lot has to do with the people you have around you. And obviously understanding you. We all have our good days and our bad days, and sometimes it is difficult, but that is so extremely important. They you need to have people around you that understand you, but also that you understand those people around you.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And
Mm.
something quite interesting about you as well, you relate with many talents, right? I understand you enjoy art and craft and astronomy.
Mhm.
It's so cool. So, how art and then social work and then astronomy, just take me through that.
Yes, like I said, you know what? I was, when I was young, I was very ambitious. I had many loves, but art was just one of those things that I knew from little. I feel like I'm in my element if I do it. If I see art supplies, it's exciting. So it is something that I love from little. I and it's quite, a number of things. The
Mm,
astronomy is also, allow stargazing and things. What I
mm,
have discovered now is that, now that I'm older, I have, you know, ended up, going and buying these art supplies and actually do stargazing. And what happened is that my daughter actually, got hold of it. So if
oh,
I have
wow.
art supplies, she would start painting or she would start getting busy, um, and she would go full out in wanting to be an astronomer. So whatever I, really loved, she just, grabbed hold of and aspiring to great things with
That
it.
is so beautiful. It's like you have your mother and daughter,
Yeah.
special quality time around the things that you both actually enjoy. I have to say your organization is doing such phenomenal work. And viewers at home, when you're tuned in, and I hope that you'll just have it in your heart to support the organization. And what are some of the ways, or how can viewers at home or anybody who eventually watches the segment can actually be of assistance to the organization?
Yes, but first, you know what? They can make contact with us there early on. They can check out our Facebook page. We have, shops where they can also make contact. But the important thing is, do look on the website. Get to
Mhm.
know Vision, get to know about the work that Vision is doing.
Yes.
We are almost now one of the only, you know, child and youth care center with an Islamic ethos.
Hmm.
So that is the kind of work that we are doing in the community, and people are really encouraged to familiarize themselves with the work that Vision are doing. If they want to, make a donation, they can contact us directly. And if they want to, donate goods, they can also make contact with our charity shops within their areas, and that areas would be Wynberg, Belgravia, or Paro. So they can do that as well, but phone us directly at our head office. Um, the number is 021 or 29. So yeah, they can make contact with us.
100%. So, viewers at home, I would really like to encourage you to join in supporting this amazing organization. They are doing great work in and around Cape Town. Really, a little bit always goes a long way. And with that, I just want to thank you, Ms. Zanab Baker, for coming on the show today and for sharing with us your journey and what your organization
Such
does.
a pleasure. Thank you so much, Tabang.
100%. Thank you, viewers at home, sorry, for actually also tuning in. It was such a pleasure hosting you. We'll be seeing you same place, same time. This is Open Studio. I'm your host, Taban Sahaichu. Thank you for tuning in.